I would like to request Mr. Kiran Karnik to please unveil the book. Now I would like to request Mr. Pavan Duggal to present a copy of the book to Mr. Kiran Karnik. Thank you, sir. I would now like to invite Mr. Kiran Karnik to please come to dais and address the audience.
Mr. Duggal, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. First, my apologies for walking in late. It's courtesy air traffic and road traffic. I don't know which one was more responsible, but my apologies. I was in Bangalore and had no choice but to come in an early morning flight, which was a little later than I expected, and you know what any traffic is like at this time of the day. So my apologies to Mr. Duggal, and I know Mr. Jaswal had to go. He had told me day before yesterday itself he's got something to do off here. I want to say a couple of things before starting on talking a little bit about the subject. The first is that I want to congratulate Mr. Duggal for the book release and for doing this job. It's a great job for the industry. I think it's very important for us, and I'm very happy that he's taken out on himself to do this. And secondly, I want to say that the idea of not just doing a book release, which is often a formal function followed by a social event, I appreciate the idea very much of trying to combine it with having a little serious discussion on the topic, and the concept of a seminar is extremely welcome. I do think there are things to share and talk about, and I again want to congratulate Mr. Duggal and his publishers for the idea of putting together a brief seminar where one can discuss the issue. Just a few words on this topic and issue itself. I missed part of what Mr. Jaswal said, but I want to reiterate that we see the criticality of this as being at the forefront of what we are doing in this area today. If we look at challenges that face the industry, the BPO industry in particular, but broadly the IT industry, one of the biggest challenges relates to concerns that emanate from area of broadly the framework of security. It includes data privacy, it includes network security, it includes intellectual property right protection and therefore piracy, the whole gamut of areas on which the law is really critically important to us. I'm very glad that Mr. Duggal mentioned this, because many people seem to think that our law is just not there. And I do want to reiterate once again what he said, that law in India in this aspect is there, it's good, it's fairly strong. And in fact, there would be some who would argue that it is even adequate. However, looking at the need for customers to be really comfortable, the need to give them a sense of complete assurance because they're moving more and more critical work to India, to give them a comfort that their customers in turn, the end user, be it a retail, a bank account, or somebody who's just gone to a hospital to get a health checkup, to ensure that individual, that their data is safe and secure. It is with that in mind that one has been concerned about making sure that we have not just complete compliance, but even, we might say, an additional safety factor added on in the law. And one of the efforts which we've undertaken with the help of many people from industry and many people from the law fraternity, including Mr. Duggal in particular, is to try to identify those areas where we feel the law needs some strengthening, some additions, some amendments. And that effort is going on, and that's what Mr. Jaswal referred to. At least I have a part of the reference to that, which we are working very closely with the government. I'm glad he said that it's a matter of just a few months. I'm always hoping it will be quicker than that, but I realize these things take their time, and we are moving on that. This is important because, as I said, a lot of important mission critical work is going to India. There is data regarding both individuals and companies that is here, and therefore they have some concern about saying, how do we know it's secure? A couple of things on that. The first is that the track record in India has been phenomenal. And all of you know this, but I again want to mention this very clearly once again, that our track record has been excellent. If you look around the world and look at cases of misuse of data, of identity theft, of hacking, of viruses going in. It's extremely rare, if at all, that you will find anybody from India or even an Indian in it. And this is, one can attribute it to whatever it may be attributable to: excellent processes in industry, to protection, to fear of law, or to value systems. But so far, our track record has been excellent. However, and Mr. Jaswal mentioned this, there is danger. There is danger if something happens, then we will be in a problem, because there are enough detractors, as he said, who are looking at one reason or the other to say that, why are you sending your work to India? Why is work being done in India? And certainly one of the concerns that is being floated around is saying, okay, fine, India is it's great value for money, people are productive, talent is very high, you're able to get great quality, but how do you know your data is secure? Is there some danger there? And it is that kind of issue that, again, we want to proactively foreclose. As I said, not that there's been any case earlier, but we want to make sure that in a proactive stance we are there. From NASSCOM, we've taken this on as a major, broad ambit thing of what we are trying to do. This is amongst our highest priorities going forward, and this is what we have called trustworthy sourcing. That India is a place from which you can source work on a very trustworthy basis. It's something you can be fully sure is compliant, reliable, everything will be safe and secure. And in many ways, we're trying to establish the same kind of thing that we have done very successfully in the area of quality, where around the world it is recognized that in the IT area, the quality that you get in India is not just as good, but is superior to what you get outside. And this is best evidenced by the fact that many of the companies here, including many of the multinationals, have their India operations very often at a higher level of quality rating than their own home operations. So that India subsidiary is operating at so-called levels of like CMM level 5, whereas their back home head office may be level 4, level 3, and there's a reverse transfer technology going on. And this has been widely recognized, particularly in the IT community. Our effort is to do the very same with regard to security, to try and make sure that India is not just as, but more secure than what they have in their home bases, whether it is in the US, UK, Europe or Japan. And part of that effort has to be what we've tried to create through a 4E framework. A great part of that depends on enforcement and enactment. Enactment by creating the right laws and then by enforcing them. And on both these counts, the kind of work that lawyers can do is critical. First, in helping us to draft the right kind of legal framework, to make sure that legal framework is compliant with what is required in the US, UK and our major markets. And at the same time, to try and work with the legal community, the enforcement community and the judicial community, equally importantly, to ensure enforcement. We shouldn't have loopholes which allow people to escape enforcement of some kind. We should make sure that both the judiciary and the police forces are aware of the implications and importance of this area, and that is not treated as something trivial or something that they don't understand. I think we have moved very substantially in this way. I yet remember something which is not made up, it's a true story, where the police were truly mystified in trying to understand the concept of how somebody can steal time. This was an internet account and somebody complained, and the police were completely mystified. They said, theft, you tell your car is stolen, you say money has been stolen, I understand that. How can you steal time? I mean, what am I going to go and recover when I get it at the end of the day? The concept itself is difficult. And then as you move to more difficult concepts relating to data privacy, identity theft, these become more complex. And one of the efforts that we've engaged in, and we need to do much more on this, is to try and do workshops to make sure that the enforcement arms are aware of what this is, and also it's important